And hello, all. This is Lala Madness, and you're tuning in to another episode of the Fierce Review. And in this episode, I'm actually going to be discussing the IRS sues Facebook for $9 billion in taxes. And this is going on currently, if you guys are watching it now. Therefore, you know where to reach me at on all social media platforms at Lala Madness. Also, check out my YouTube page at Lala Madness. And also, I'm on all podcast platforms at Lala Madness as well. And you can also email me at lmfiercereview@gmail.com if you're trying to reach me that way. All right. Now, like I mentioned, the IRS is suing Facebook for $9 billion, excuse me, not million, $1 billion in taxes. Now, the IRS is taking the social media giant Facebook to court for a tax trial in San Francisco, California, which this is actually happening currently about February the 18th or so. Is when the trial supposedly started, and the trial could actually last about 3 to 4 weeks. You know, trials are never like cut and dry unless somebody takes, a plea or some type of ownership to it just to get it out the way. And Facebook is not doing that. Okay, so the IRS claims that that Facebook rather understated intellectual property sold in 2010 while building out operations. Now, Ireland has a lower tax bill and tax rates than the United States, so moving the property actually lowered their tax bill, okay, or what they would owe. Now, under the arrangement, Facebook subsidiaries pay royalties to the U.S.-based parent, which would be the actual Facebook that's located out of San Francisco, for access to its trademarks, user and platform technologies. And from 2010 to 2016, Facebook Ireland paid Facebook US more than $14 billion in royalties and cost sharing payments, according to the court filing. Okay. So they're in federal court right now. That's usually where the taxes are done. Facebook is actually out of the Bay Area, so excuse me. But the court proceedings are happening in San Francisco. Now, Facebook Ireland and Facebook's other foreign affiliates, not the Facebook US, took the lead in selling Facebook ads. And the reason they did so is because Facebook claims that it's because of no mobile advertising revenue at the time that they had made the move. Okay. Now they're going to call top executives to testify, including Andrew Bosworth and Chief Technology Officer Mike Schrofer, Naomi Gleet, and Javier Olivan, veterans of Facebook's aggressive growth team, and Chief Revenue Officer David Fisher. Now, if the IRS wins, Facebook will have to pay $9 million if it's found that they actually somehow made some faulty moves, and that by them having most of their sales done out of the country, and also making that move with the subsidiaries that they did back in the day, which at this point was years ago, they're saying that they're not able to give them a higher tax rate, which the U.S. feels like they want more of the money that someone's making. But then you know how you kind of move things around. You have those offshore accounts. You know that if it's cheaper to do business here, you'll put another company there and you'll run the majority of whatever is happening out of that office that's going to generate the most money. So that way you won't have to pay that much taxes, which is smart business wise. But of course, here it is, almost 10 years later, and the government decides that they want to take a portion of that money from 10 years ago. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Facebook generates a large amount of taxes that they already pay on a yearly basis, but how much taxes is too much taxes? Like, should there be a cutoff at how much someone actually pays in back taxes or pays in taxes, period, of the amount of money that they make? Because I don't know. I mean, $9 billion is a lot of money for you to tell me you want 10 years later. I mean, it is. If you move things around now, in some cases, some things, if you walk a fine line, it's legal, which I'm sure they thought that it was legal to do so at the time that they did it. If they can prove, though, that this is the legalities. So if you can prove that the real reason was because there were no sales generating from the mobile markets at that time, and you decided to move it over here so that they can be the ones to aggressively more attack that avenue to be able to generate more income, and that's where the sales were coming from, then can you really fault them for that? Legally, no, you can't. But in the government's terms of wanting money, and this is election year, so when there's an election year, they try to gather funds from every source that they possibly can. I'm just saying, I am dying to hear how this is going to turn out. What's going to happen? Are they going to be liable for the $9 billion that they need to pay to the government? Because the government claims that there were funds that were made, or moves that were made in order to lower their tax bill. So it's nothing we can do but wait till the end of this trial to find out. But it is currently happening. So there should be updates on a daily basis about it, unless they have a gag order on anything regarding the proceedings or media presence or things of that nature to let people know exactly what's going on a day-by-day basis. But I'm sure there's some reports out there of somebody saying something about what's happening currently. And so we'll just have to wait and see to the end of that trial what happens. Because $9 million, I mean, I'm sure Facebook has it based on the numbers that they was running there. I'm just saying. Okay, so let's wait and see what happens. And I don't think that's going to stop Facebook from, but they have been speaking up quite a bit lately against certain government things, as far as payments and money, and the government not having access to certain things that because he just got up there and went back and forth with the government about what they feel they should have access to, and he's trying to say that he's trying to protect the privacy of the people that use the platform. So kind of like that Apple thing, when Apple wouldn't kind of open up somebody's Apple phone because they did something against the law and they wanted to get in to find out, and Apple said, well, if we do that for you, we have to do it for everybody. So they didn't. They ended up getting the phone anyway, but that's what their job is. Use the funds that you have set aside to get into those things and figure that out. Don't just come to us and expect to, ruin our face with the privacy with the people that purchase from us. So Facebook kind of tried to do the same thing a little while ago. I do recall that report. However, now, now they're going to come for them for the $9 billion. So let's find out if they get it or not. Are they going to get it? I'm going to report back to you guys to let you know what happened as far as an update, form of an update. So, for those of you guys that have more information or that have gotten day-to-day updates other than what I've already mentioned, then please do share. Email me, lmfiercereview@gmail.com. Also, you can reply to this or comment, like, share, subscribe on all of my platforms or wherever you may see this video or hear this audio, because it is going to go in various places. So keep me updated. And until we speak again, ta-ta.